Before we get on to the video, I just want to let you know that this was recorded before Penacony and was supposed to be uploaded before the 2.0 update even dropped. But just as I was about to upload it, my internet went down, and then it has been down for the past 13 days or so. So I've only just now had an opportunity to hook up to the internet through a mobile hotspot, and it's pretty spotty. So my uploads will still be fairly inconsistent over the next few days until my ISP actually fixes the issue. So this video may not be entirely accurate, so just take it as a pre-Penacony prediction video. Anyways, don't forget to like and subscribe. It really helped me out, and I hope you enjoy the video. All right, so 2.0 is going to be giving us some new light cones added to the Forgotten Hall shop. So we're going to go over those today and see which ones are going to be suited for the characters we currently have. And then we could probably make some predictions off of future characters that might be coming that would be able to use these light cones based off of some hints that are going to be dropped throughout. So starting off with the Destruction Light Cone Deflagration, when the cumulative HP loss of the wearer during a single attack exceeds 25% of their max HP, or if the amount of their own HP consumed at one time is greater than 25% of their max HP, immediately heal the wearer for 15%. At the same time, increase the damage they deal by 25%, lasting for 2 turns. This effect can only be triggered once every 3 turns. So the 25% damage boost is pretty big, and it's only on a 1-turn cooldown. So the biggest thing is the 25% HP threshold. Very few characters can actually make use of that. Basically, Blade, and I don't even know if Arlen can get up to that 25 when he consumes his own HP. But definitely Blade will be able to use this if you have Blade and not his signature light cone. And then this is just all these light cones are going to assume that you don't have the signature light cone for any characters. Otherwise, you would use the light cone instead because it is going to be their best in slot. As for the other destruction characters, don't really think this one's going to beat out the Herta Shop light cone for those destruction characters or any of the ones from the gacha. But with Sam on the portrait of this light cone, we could probably assume that if he does release, he's going to have a kit around losing HP and upping his damage. But right now, we don't really know for sure if he's coming, when he's coming, or what his kit's going to be like. So this is a light cone that, unless you have Blade, I would hold off on getting this for your destruction units. I would just use a different light cone. Onto the Hunt light cone, all in. Increase the wearer's attack by 12%. This is really good. When the wearer lands a critical hit on enemies, gain a stack of good fortune, stacking up to 4 times. Every stack of good fortune the wearer has will increase the crit damage by 8%. So that's 32%. That's also really good. Good fortune will be removed at the end of the wearer's turn. So this last line right here basically makes this light cone trash for vast majority of the Hunt characters in the game. The only ones that could really use this light cone to its max potential is Topaz, because Numby does attack outside of Topaz's turn, is multiple hits, so Numby can get those 4 stacks for Topaz's turn. And then Zila, she has her Resurgence that allows her to attack multiple times. Each attack is a multi-hit in itself. So she can get that 32% off of one of her hits or multiple hits. As for the other Hunt characters, a lot of their hits are 2 to 3 times only. So they're not even going to get up to that max crit damage boost. And there's just better light cones that you could get from the gacha, Herta Shop, the Forgotten Hall, that just provide a more consistent boost to their damage. Onto the Erudition light cone. This one's actually pretty good. Stratagem increases the wearer's attack by 16%. When the wearer uses an attack and at least 2 enemies are attacked with corresponding weakness, the wearer crit damage increases by 20% for 2 turns. Every Erudition character has AoE built into their kit, so they're always going to be hitting 2 or more enemies, as long as there's 2 or more enemies on the field. And then very likely you're going to be bringing them to battles where all enemies have weakness to that element. So essentially, they're going to have a permanent crit damage uptime. And this light cone is also really good for free-to-play to have, because we do get 3 Erudition characters for free, those being Herta, Serval, and QQ. And all 3 of those characters can be used in in-game stages. So QQ is really good in Swarm Disaster with propagation buff. So she could really make use of this light cone. Herta and Serval are really good in pure fiction, so they can make use of those light cones as well. So if you're needing an erudition character for these in-game modes and needing a light cone for them, I think Stratagem is a good light cone to pick up from the shop. It probably be the priority pick. Onto the Harmony light cone, Solidarity. After the wearer uses either their basic attack, skill, or ultimate, all allies gain Childish, which increases the allies' damage from the same ability type as the one used by the wearer by 12%. Childishness only takes effect for the most recent ability type the wearer used and cannot be stacked. So this one is not great. So units like Ting Yun or Ruan Mei, who are using their skill once and then basic attacking until they need to use their skill again, that's going to put most of the boost on the basic attack for the DPS. That's not what your DPS wants. Your DPS wants skill, ultimate boost. So units like Branya or Asta or Yukong, who are basically spamming their skill and ultimate only, they could make use of this. But even then, when compared to other Harmony light cones that just have a non-conditional boost to their kit, I'd say those light cones are better. This one, it's way too conditional because you want that 12% boost on your DPS all the time, no matter what the DPS is going to use. If it only applies to their ultimate for one turn and they don't have their ultimate up, well, that's missing out on damage. I do think this light cone is extremely niche and not really suited for our current roster of Harmony units. Onto the Nihility light cone, Self-Amusement. When the wearer inflicts a debuff on an enemy, gains a stack of Trick. Every stack of Trick increases the wearer damage dealt by 6%, stacking up to 3 times. This effect lasts for 1 turn. When the wearer's effect hit rate is 80% or higher, increases attack by 20%. So this basically screams light cone for Black Swan, because Black Swan's going to want that effect hit rate, because you're going to want to build Black Swan with a buttload of effect hit rate. She does have 3, I believe, debuffs built into her kit, whereas a lot of other Nihility characters, they only have their dot, which counts as 1, or a dot and another debuff. But this is basically, if you're getting Black Swan and you're not getting her light cone because you don't have the resources to get her light cone, this is the free to play option for Black Swan. So if you're getting Black Swan, pick up this light cone, because this is going to be her light cone if you're free to play and not getting her signature. Onto the Preservation light cone, Insight increases the wearer's effect riz by 12%. For every 100 defense the wearer has, increase the wearer's damage dealt by 0.8% up to a maximum of 32%. This one's fairly interesting. So the effect res by 12%, that one is good all around for all preservation, all your defensive units. It'll also help you meet the threshold for Broken Keel, the 30%, to get your entire team that crit damage boost. So this will help that. Now, the damage boost based off of the defense, that is very interesting. To me, that screams like a future character, because the only like preservation character that we have right now that kind of has damage built into their kit is Fire Trailblazer with their trace upgrades, because Fire Trailblazer with their trace upgrades does get damage boost, whereas everybody else is like pure tank. Like Japard, he could get that defense up, but he's still going to hit like a wet noodle. March, she's not really, damage oriented. So this one definitely screams future preservation unit. I'd keep an eye on Aventurian's kit to see if it's damage based before picking up this preservation light cone. Otherwise, everybody else, I think, would make use of the effect res. And then lastly, Hypothesis, the Abundance light cone, increases the wearer's break effect by 24%. After using their basic attack, restore HP for the wearer by an amount equal to 2% of their max HP plus 800. So for what we have right now, this one is just not good. Like every other Abundance light cone would be more beneficial for our current Abundance characters, because you're not going to be breaking anybody with break effect. I think maybe Luocha for the Imprison debuff, Like that'll be the most useful break effect you can get out of our abundance characters, but you're not going to be wanting bleed or wind shear or the quantum break effect from the healer. You're going to want your DPS to do the breaking, right? A lot of our current abundance characters are not really going to make use of this light cone. But given that Gallagher is on the light cone and he is our next abundance character, this to me sounds like his kit's going to be centered around breaking and needing break effect. So maybe his heals scale off of break effect. Maybe if he breaks an enemy, it like splashes a heal to your entire team. Something. I just think that with the break effect on this abundance light cone, that either him or another abundance healer is going to have some sort of gimmick around break effect. So this is something that I would hold off on until we get more characters in 2.0 that could potentially use them. So that's the overview for the new light cones coming to the shop. The ones that I would get right off the bat and focus on are Stratagem for the Erudition units. That will be good for them. And then if you're getting Black Swan, but not her light cone, then Self-Amusement. So I'd prioritize Self-Amusement for Black Swan if you're not getting her light cone, followed by Stratagem to boost up your free-to-play Erudition units. And then as for the others, Deflagration if you have Blade. And then all the others, I would just sit on them, wait for new characters to release to see if they can make use of these light cones. But overall, it's more options for free-to-play. As we get more characters, there's going to be characters that are eventually going to want to use these kind of light cones. But I do think for right now, it's good enough. I think they could have been a little better, a little less niche and more general. But for what we're getting right now, I do think it's still going to help out a lot of players who maybe are getting unlucky with the gacha light cones or can't get the signature light cones for certain limited units. I do think this updated batch is pretty solid. Anyways, let me know what you think down in the comments below. Which light cones are you going to get? Which ones do you think are the best ones for people to get for free-to-play players or those who just don't have a large light cone selection? Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel, and I want to thank you all for watching.